Brown cow.
Well, boys, there goes the perfect season. But don't you fret because the Rays are back-to-back American League East champions. Hey, it's not Sunday. It's a Monday. But we're good any day of the week. So, Chief, I know you're tired. Grab your coffee because this is the main event.
You know, I can see what's happening during the bumper, and I'm just so curious as to what I'm seeing.
What is going on?
So I saw that we were all wearing our gang colors today. I'm not really sure if Viagra blue was a good color for gang colors, but I've got my gang signs going. East and west. I'm ready. Let's roll. Boom.
Well, what's TSG doing?
4,500.
Oh my gosh.
46. Chief was nice enough to loan me his office, and he's always got a set of workout dumbbells,
Yep, you're the only one to ever use those.
They haven't. Well, the doorstop gets them every once in a while. So. Is that a teddy bear behind you?
It is. Yeah, he's holding up my flag, man. That's Teddy back there.
I like him.
Yeah, Mark let me borrow him.
Off the rails already.
We had a tough day. Yesterday.
That was bad. That was bad.
Did we actually think we would have or could have a perfect season?
I didn't.
I did.
I hoped.
We had high hopes for a perfect season, is what you're saying.
I think Tom Brady thought we were had a chance at a perfect season. That cat played the entire 60 minutes. He was out there.
Yeah,
he did.
Sure did.
So
let's break it down. TSG, which for the record stands for the stat guy. TSG, break down for us some stats. Pooh Bear, give us your thoughts.
All right, so Pooh, you gonna tally for me?
I got you, brother. Hit it.
Okay, here we go. Sacks: Rams 3, Tampa Bay 1.
That's in the Rams category.
QB hits: Rams 5, Tampa Bay 4.
Rams.
Yep. Here we go. Turnovers: 2 fumbles, Tampa Bay, 1 for the Rams.
Hey, we won a category.
I think it works that way.
Rushing: the Rams 76, Tampa Bay 35, which 14 were Tom Brady's. He was the leading rusher for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday.
Go Tampa, stretch their legs.
Hey,
we got playoff Lenny and Rojo
on the sideline.
And the 45-year-old GOAT is the leading rusher.
Yes.
I think that counts as 2 for the Rams.
Yeah. So, passing yards. Here we go. 446 for Tampa Bay, 407 for the Rams.
Oh.
Yeah.
We won something.
Now, why did that not work out better for us? Well, here we are. Penalties. Tampa Bay, 4 penalties, 41 yards. The Rams, 1 lonely penalty, 4 yards.
How do you play an entire football game committing only 1 penalty?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know why. How is it only a 4-yard penalty?
I think it was a half the distance to the goal on a block on a kick or a punt.
Yeah.
Now, that don't make a lot. That signals some things for me right there because I felt like we got cheated a little bit yesterday on some calls.
Wow.
Especially on those pick plays where they got, they did the same exact play and then we did one and we got called for it and our guy didn't even hit him.
Yeah, there was definitely some pick plays happening.
Yeah.
The Gronk got nailed for that one.
He did, but that there was holding on both sides of the ball that wasn't called either, though. So they didn't call a single holding penalty yesterday. And, for the most part, they just allow these guys to play.
Yeah. So with that said, TSG, thanks for rolling off some stats. I think if we looked at it the way you just broke it down, yeah, that's a football game we should lose. By the way, I think if we did that same thing for the Cowboys game, we would lose.
Oof,
And we pulled that one out. I don't know about Atlanta. Pooh Bear, what didn't go well yesterday?
Everything. There wasn't much that did go right for them. I don't know. It just there was a lot of what I observed, and this is a lot of excuses and apologizing. You can see by some super fans that doesn't include us, right? We're not going to do that here. That's not what we do on this show.
Oh, we're perfect.
We're logical and we look at things from both angles. So I did see several plays that were, pivotal linchpin type plays that could have changed the course of the game, where just a step here, there, step there. Those are the types of things the Bucs were getting last year, especially in their 10-game winning run, right? When they went, that wrapped around to this year. When they rattled off all those wins, they were getting those types of things. Antoine Winfield, a half a step away from a pick six, that would have completely changed the game. Jamil Dean, two hands in a wind blowing the right way.
Yes,
he would have had an early pick that probably would have changed.
Bricks for hands. That was early in the game. Yeah,
right. The play where Deshaun Jackson broke loose and got a long touchdown right after the half. A defender fell down after running into another man. These are the types of things that just, little happenstance kind of things. It just so happened they all happened the same game and at the same time and really were detrimental to the Buccaneers.
Against a team like the Rams, you can't get away with it.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to make too many mistakes.
Dallas, we barely got away with that one. And the other teams that we made those kind of mistakes on, Atlanta, they're not as good, so we can get away with that.
Yeah. So, we've heard the bad, we've heard the kind of the middle of the ground. Let's hear some of the good. What can the Buccaneers do to improve that we have look forward to the rest of the season here? Chief.
Yeah. So, I don't think that I understand the mistakes that the Bucs made and the game didn't go away, but there really were some bright spots in this game. First of all, let me talk a little bit about the offense. Tom Brady threw for 432 yards. That's the sixth most passing yards in a game from any Buccaneer in the history of the Bucs, by the way. And you can't throw for 432 yards unless everything works. What I mean by that is the offensive line has to block. The quarterback has to throw the ball where it's supposed to be. And then finally, the receivers have to be there and they have to catch the ball. So from the offensive side of the ball, they moved the ball a lot. They were driving the ball. Penalties did get them a couple of times, which stalled drives out. But the offense works. There is, believe it or not, some good news coming out of the defense. So let me tell you about the flip side here. The defense held their running game to only 76 yards. I was watching that defensive line, and I also listened to part of Bruce Arians' press conference today. And, Bruce is a little upset. We're not hearing Shaq Barrett. We're not hearing Ndamukong Suh. We're not hearing these guys in the making plays on the quarterback yet. But what they did do successfully, they took away the running lanes. They stayed home yesterday, and they actually were, if they didn't get pressure on the quarterback, they at least took up the passing lane and made some of the passes more difficult for him. So those are the two things that the Buccaneers did right. I want to say this, though. There is a chance for the Buccaneers to get one more call right. Okay? And I believe that call is to Richard Sherman. If they call Richard Sherman, I think that's going to help. Did y'all see the news? Did you see what they did with Ali Marpet this year? This past week?
They restructured his deal, right?
They restructured Ali Marpet's contract, which freed up $4 million. Now, no one has said where that $4 million is going to go or why they would need to do it. But it seems to me that's kind of the money that I think Richard Sherman's probably looking for. And
today he's asking for $5 after seeing that performance on Sunday. Today he's asking for $5. Yeah. Listen, no secrets here. This defense is horrible. I don't know.
The secondary is terrible.
I don't know any other way to put it. And so far, every team is using the same scheme against us, and that's let's throw screens and 3-yard passes, and they nickel and dime us down the field. Now you did mention, Chief, that we stopped the run, but we did not stop the run when we had to, which was in the fourth quarter. They had a drive in the fourth quarter where I think they ran the ball on almost every play, and it ate up almost 7 minutes when we needed the football back.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to get stops right there, and we couldn't get stops on the run when we needed them.
Well, think about it, though. That's football 101 for offense. You're winning the game. You run the football. This offense, our defense had been on the field for a long time. Those big boys were tired by that time. So honestly, the fact that they ran the ball in the fourth quarter over and over again, and we still only had 76 yards against us, I still think that says that this team is very good at stopping the run. As a matter of fact, I don't think anyone out of the 3 games, but no team has put over 100 yards on us yet.
No, so I think, you go back and you look at our success in the playoffs last year, where the defense, by the way, no secret, our defense wasn't awesome last year, but they showed up in a way we hadn't seen them show up in the playoffs. And a lot of that was from getting pressure on the quarterback, right? And almost all of those games. Right now, we're not getting pressure on the quarterback. And the reason is the answer to that has been, let's drop back and throw. Their quarterbacks aren't waiting for plays to develop against our team.
Right.
And they know at the snap, they know where the ball is going. Nobody's reading the defense. It's snap, throw. Snap, throw.
And how you counter that, B-Love, is by running, which we cannot do, which, Chief had mentioned earlier in our pre-meeting, and he's right. And that is, you run a bump and run, right? You get these guys at the line of scrimmage, and you make them take a little more time so our linemen that are really good can get to that quarterback. But the problem is that we don't have DBs that are quite good enough to bump and run and stay with these guys, so we're going to get burned really bad unless they come up with some plan or some way to do something about this. I did see them dropping some guys back where I only saw 3 guys rushing, so then they can drop some guys in coverage and kind of confuse them, getting some lanes there. But it didn't work. They were ready for it every time. And they were ready for all the blitzes. They knew right where to go. These guys were ready and they're prepared. You got to give it to Sean McVay and the Rams for doing a good job and preparing for the Bucs. This is a big game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're taking on the Super Bowl champs, you're going to put your best effort. You're going to be as prepared. You're going to be jacked up. All the hyperbole you want to throw in there. Another piece of the silver lining to kind of dovetail with Chiefs' points is that this is the soft part of the schedule. The Bucs are going into New England this next week, followed by the Miami, Philadelphia, Chicago, New Orleans, who is playing pretty well, but then this Washington football team, the Giants, the Colts. I mean, the Falcons again. It is a soft part. It is a good time to heal up. It is a good time to, I don't want to say learning on the job. You shouldn't be learning on the job in professional level, but this is a time to kind of fix some things. As Todd Bowles can look at this and say, okay, here's some schemes we need to run and work on in order to get better, which is what they did last year. They did not play so well the first half of the season last year. They really turned it on after the bye week. Sure. So let's see what happens. It's not all doom and gloom.
So after us watching 3 weeks of football, right? So far, we played the Cowboys in week 1. We could not stop the Cowboys, right? We traded touchdowns with them all game. We won that game because we had the last possession. That's the only reason why we won that game. You go to the Atlanta game, same thing. Could not stop a subpar offense. We just happen to have a better offense. We win that game. We come to LA, they're just better, right? They're off. We couldn't trade touchdowns with them because they scored, other than the first 2 stops, they scored on nearly every possession after that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so knowing that after what we've seen for the last 3 weeks, what kind of offense you think Belichick's going to run out there on Sunday?
A weak one, because they don't have the
Belichick's going to be very limited. I watched the Patriots game this past week. They played the Saints. Mac Jones does not look awesome. He's taken time to make his reads. That will give, like TSG suggested, that'll give our defensive linemen, these guys, Barrett's going to get a sack. I guarantee it. Ndamukong Suh's going to get a sack. If JPP's back, I mean, this is a sack fiesta, sackapalooza coming up, against Mac Jones. He doesn't move. I mean, he moves less than Tom Brady, if you can believe it. That guy doesn't move at all. I think this is a team that we're going to tee off against, and Tom Brady is going to have a really good homecoming, and Patriots fans are going to be like, man, I wish that guy was still here by the time this game's over.
Oh, I think they're definitely going to wish that he was there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. How many rookie quarterbacks have the Buccaneers played that we make look like heroes?
All of them.
So
TSG is raising his hand.
So here's the thing that we have to be worried about is that no one knows Tom Brady and his weaknesses better than Belichick.
True.
When we played the Raiders in our first Super Bowl, we had the coach of the Raiders who knew all the weaknesses of that offense and the defense, and it couldn't got any worse for them because, I mean, when you so now Brady may know Belichick's tendency as well, some of his tendencies, but I say that Belichick has the advantage in that realm.
Well,
but I still think we'll beat him. But
I was going to turn that around on you, say that Brady also knows all of Belichick's tendencies. I mean, 20 years together, you're going to pick up some things and you're going to know some things.
Yeah.
And to also put that into the Buccaneers' favor is that the execution of the knowledge is not necessarily going to happen just because Belichick says it. Doesn't mean he's got the talent on the field to produce it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Hey, how much of a role are injuries playing in this team right now?
I think the biggest, most glaring one is the Sean Murphy-Bunting. Not having him on the field, he is a number one corner on almost every team in the NFL right now if he's healthy, and his ability not to play is glaring.
So I feel that every NFL team right now has injuries. It is a part of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot hang your hat and say, oh my gosh, that we lost this guy. Even a quarterback. If we were to lose Tom Brady, you can't play the what if game because you got to play the next man up. That injuries are just a part of the NFL. By the way, injuries. Anyone see Jared McCoy's stats from yesterday? How about week 2 stats? Anybody see Jared McCoy's week 2 stats?
I missed it.
Nah, biggest soft man in the NFL. He goes out week 1 with a knee injury, season-ending injury. With the Raiders, this guy, man. I can't tell you the last time he completed an NFL season.
The producer was another phone call away from having him on the show, and you're going to go and dog him out like that. He's never going to show up now.
No, not now.
I know. Well, listen, after the short we're working on, Tom Brady's probably never going to call us either.
Oh, my. Wait, I just figured something out. Chief needs to call him the Billy Goat.
Yes. Chief.
Because
we're going to need you to step up next Sunday, right before game time.
Because after that happened, I'm just saying.
Hey, so let's move into like fantasy football real quick.
Oh, do we have to?
Do we have to?
Yeah, I'm not having that great of a fantasy season.
Hey, play the bumper. I like the hat.
Oh, here we go.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Unbelievable.
I love the hat.
All right. So how do we do? First of all, Survivor League. There's 2 remaining man eventers in the Survival League, and that's me and Keith. And I had Las Vegas to kick a game-winning field goal in overtime.
Hey, you weren't alone. There was about 5 people in the league that had Vegas still.
So, that was a nail biter.
Hey, I don't think in the Survivor League this week, everybody got through. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a dogfight. Everybody that's in there, they know how to pick. So
no losers in the Survivor League.
No losers this week. So that's pretty impressive right there. I took the easy way with the Broncos. Still here.
All right, so here we go. Let's recap. Who's got last week's pick'ems?
I got them.
Okay, Chief, tell us, how do we do?
Okay, so in the Dolphins versus the Raiders, every last one of us picked the Raiders. Every last one of us were correct. Which, by the way, breaks B-Love's Ofer streak right there. So yes, congratulations there. Hey, and in the Falcons and the Giants, here's only one of us picked the Giants. Guess who that was?
Not me.
B-Love. B-Love picks the Giants. They go down. So Falcons win. That's me, Pooh Bear, and TSG, all winners there. And then on the Saints versus the Patriots.
That was a pick for Matty.
Yes, that was a pick for Matt, but you still lost. So it's the Saints and Patriots. Pooh Bear's the only one who went with the Patriots. The rest of us went with the Saints, which I was very uneasy with because B-Love was also going with that on that one with us. But as it turns out, we go. I had all three right. TSG had all three right. Pooh Bear and B-Love also had both right. Pooh Bear, where do we stand for the year?
So for the season, Chief is number one at 7-2, bringing it in, man. 3 weeks in, only missing 2. That's pretty good. Me and TSG are next with 5-4, and our caboose there is at 3-6.
Oh, man,
Mr. Caboose.
3-6. Wow.
You've picked. I mean, that's one game a week. You've got correct.
Wig,
last week I was
wig.
You need a caboose of shame.
Yes.
Oh,
all right.
man.
So what do we have? What are we picking this week?
First game out, we have the Seahawks at the 49ers.
Yes, sir.
All right, Pooh Bear, what you got?
I'm gonna go. Man, neither team's really playing up to their potential. They're both kind of pulling the Buccaneers right now. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. You know why? I think they're gonna play some Trey Lance a little more. He got into the action a little bit last night. I think he's coming in. He's gonna play a significant role. So I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers as well. TSG, what do you got?
Niners. Go with the Niners.
Chief?
I'm also going to go with the Niners. They got beat on the last second with the last second field goal last week. I really feel that, this is a team that hurt. I mean, they thought they had that game won. That hurt.
If
They're at home.
that happens, well, I mean, what are we going to – I mean, I know we're doing this, but what are we going to say about the Seahawks? Because I think that's only going to put them at 1-4. Yeah, that would put them at 1-4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, the Chiefs are 1-2 right now. So I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. They're the worst in the West.
1-3. Sorry, that would put them at 1-3.
1-3, yes.
Yeah, 4 weeks in.
All
right. Next game up: Panthers versus the Cowboys.
I think
At Dallas.
This is a tough one.
At Dallas.
I think this is a tough one. Because right now, aren't the Panthers 3-0?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
They're leading the South. I'm going with the Panthers. I got the Panthers. I think Sam Darnold's got them playing well, and now Christian McCaffrey is hurt. He left the game yesterday, or no, they played Thursday. He left the game Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. I don't know if that injury report's been out there yet, but I still like the Panthers.
TSG?
Going to the Panthers.
Panthers, wow. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Oh.
And I'm going to go with the Cowboys because I think that they are a good team. I think they've got a great offense, and they're at home. So I'm going to take them over the Panthers at home. Chief?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Panthers. I'm a believer in Matt Rule is an excellent coach, and I understand that Cowboys are home, but I think the Panthers are going to do it.
Okay. All right, last up, the Colts versus the Dolphins.
Chief, who you got? I'm going to – whatever you pick is what I'm taking.
Wow.
I want to pick the Colts. I really do, but I don't see they're not really doing so hot this year, so I'm going to go Dolphins. It's a home. I'm going to go home field on that one. It's an outside game. It's a Southern Florida game, and it could be uncomfortable for the Colts. So I'm going to go Colts. Which puts you with me for the Dolphins.
Pooh Bear, what you got?
He's going to go Dolphins. He's a Dolphins fan.
No, I'm going Colts because Tua Tagovailoa is not playing. Tua's out.
Right.
So
he was out yesterday versus the Raiders, and they somehow came back.
Mm-hmm.
Did they win? Did they win?
They didn't. They did not.
Okay, just making sure. So the Colts are going to win with running game, and they have a superior defense, and they have a strong running game. They've got like 3 or 4 running backs that could start on almost any team. They just don't run them all. So I'm going Colts.
That leaves you T to the S to the G.
Oh, so this is tough, man. I'm going Miami.
Okay.
I'm feeling good about this week.
Are you?
I
You
might
feel
get some
another
games back. I
feel
might get
another
some
one
games.
win? Another
I
one
might get
win?
some games back here. All right, so let's wrap up this discussion real quick here on the NFL. We've already talked about a couple of stories. I don't know if it's a story more than making fun of Gerald McCoy for being out for the season. I don't know when has this guy played back past week 3 in a couple of years? It's been a while, right?
I don't know. He's completely irrelevant. Why are we speaking about Gerald McCoy?
Yeah, the Chiefs. We mentioned the Chiefs are 1-2. They've got the worst team. They've got the worst team, the record in the West right now.
That's a big one.
Hey, hopefully Andy Reid is okay. He went to the hospital after that game with they're saying dehydration. I don't know. I'm a big guy. You put me out there in the heat, you might have to send me to the hospital too. What did you guys think about Justin Tucker's walk-off NFL record 66-yard field goal?
It's getting crazy with these field goals.
Did you guys see it?
I saw
It bounced off the crossbar
and rolled it. It had the right kind of rotation to bounce and keep
roll
going.
in.
Because it hit the net. After it hits the crossbar, it hits the net. And I don't know if you know how far that is. It's a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think took a funny bounce. But yeah, he's now the new NFL record holder.
Yeah. Who was the
how
previous
long
guy?
was that record in line? How long was that for?
Chad Prather. He set the record back in 2009 when he was with the Lions.
Wow, that thing's held up a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to hold up that long. These guys are kicking the ball a lot further than normal. And I think we're going to see more of these attempts out there, from it's got to be the right time and in the right place and the right stadium. But
yeah, this is an attempt you don't make unless you need it to win the game.
Well, Prather attempted a 68-yarder the same day. I don't know which came first.
Yeah, was his the 68-yarder that the guy returned 109 yards for a touchdown?
Yeah, the Jaguars returned it.
Yeah, that was crazy. 109 yards.
Dude, I'd be willing to bet Prather can't kick second because they had that game under control playing Jacksonville. That's just a bad football team.
Well,
they didn't need that. They didn't need that.
It was tied 7, and then they kicked it, and the Jaguars went up 7. So I don't know. But did you guys hear about Justin Tucker's cleats? How the Hall of Fame wants him, but he's not going to give them to him? He said, He said, I still got to use them. He's like, you're not getting them.
Well, these are my lucky cleats.
Listen, I can appreciate that. You can have them after the season.
That's what he said. So he said he wants to keep the ball regardless. He does not want to donate to the Hall of Fame, but he wants to put his boots in there, his cleats in there, but after the season.
You've been watching too much Ted Lasso.
I know. I called him boots.
You're watching too much Ted Lasso.
Boots.
The crazy thing is that some of these kickers, the coaches have sacrificed some accuracy these days for some distance because we've seen a lot more misses since the change of the rules. So I think that's how they're making up for it on some of this. They're just getting. I mean, Matt Gay, he had a heck of a leg. We let him go because he wasn't accurate enough. But of course, yesterday he was terrific against us.
He's accurate against the Bucs.
Well,
right.
I'm gonna say. I mean, I think in regards to that. The harder you have to kick the ball to get it the distance, the more likelihood I think you are of shanking it. Like if you're a right-footed kicker shaking it to the left because you're looking for all that extra power. It's like a pull hitter in baseball, right? They're either going to pull one right down that line or they're going to be early and pull one foul, trying to get more power on it. But
remember that time you tried to tell a professional kicker how to kick?
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic.
Well,
we need to do a series of these stories where we kind of reenact them or something. That's a great video idea. Reenacting these stories from our past. Just like
I wasn't wrong, by the way.
Oh, what I was going to say You
He
sounded
told you
just
you're
like that when we went to the NFL experience, and you're like,
Yes.
yeah, you got to just do
Yes.
this and that.
No doubter.
No doubter.
All right, and there's one.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Where'd he go? Oh my gosh.
B-Love took him out of the stream. That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Jeez.
That's,
Oh boy,
that's funny.
sorry, boss.
Hey, B-Love, you're right though about when you swing for the ball too hard.
Yeah.
You know, I shanked that thing left, and when I say I shanked it left, you know, I mean, I almost hit the kid next to me. I mean, it was a hard left.
Yeah, that was fun. What we got to do, and one of these weekends, we got to go out to like where the little pee-wee fields are at, and let's hit a couple.
I know exactly where to do it too. Artificial surface.
Yes.
It's always open.
Let's go out there, and we can do like a man event short or something on it.
That'd be fun.
Yes.
So, any other football news?
I think that's about it.
Is Matt Stafford a different quarterback out of Detroit?
Oh yes.
I think he's the same quarterback. He just has weapons, and he has support, and he has
So you think-
defense.
I was at, is it weapons or coaching?
It's everything.
All of it.
Honestly, it's all of it. Well,
It's-
he had some pretty good coaches there, but they just didn't have anything to work with around him.
Talent. He was running for his life. He's got
Yeah.
a good offensive line there now. McVay calls a great game. Everyone's known that. It's just Goff couldn't get it done. He didn't have the mental capability of being a good quarterback, whereas Stafford does. So I think that's the
Man,
difference.
how tough is it to be a Detroit Lions fan right now?
How about the
The
Detroit
last decade.
period?
I mean,
What's any
I'm
different?
just saying, seeing your guy roll off to LA and throw down on the Super Bowl champions.
Listen, if your favorite team is the Lions, your favorite baseball team is the Tigers, your favorite hockey team is the Wings. You live in Detroit. You live the winters are just brutal.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
Hey,
We just lost all our viewership in Detroit.
I'm
Which
okay
was one
with that.
guy. Which was
I'm
one
okay
guy.
with
We had one guy.
we can say it because we've been there. Okay, those guys you're saying the same thing about us. A decade ago, it's been more than that now. 20 years ago, a bad football team. We didn't have any other sports back then. Well, we did have a bad baseball team back then, and it was hot as can be in the summertime. Those guys hate our summers. They don't come down here in the summertime. So
No, they don't.
yeah.
All right.
But we still got the.
All right, boys and girls. It's time for this week's installment of You Can't Fix It.
This is
All
a
right,
good
listen.
one.
I got. Before we get into this, I just got an alert on my phone that I think is very important.
Uh-oh.
Nestle has just recalled frozen pizzas.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What brands do they make a frozen pizza?
Specifically, DiGiorno.
No problem.
Uh,
I don't buy that garbage.
Not
Yeah,
those
DiGiorno, it's
Tostitos,
like-
those Tostitos, though. Those little square ones. All right,
Totino's, get it right.
Okay,
It's
sorry.
the best frozen pizza there is. And I can eat two at one time.
You roll
Hey,
them up
someone
like a
ate some
burrito.
releases earlier
Hey,
tonight.
I'm hitting the button to turn B-Love off. It ain't working.
All right, Chief, what do you got for You Can't Fix Stupid?
Oh man, listen, this one hits a little too close to home. So coming to you straight out of Tampa,
Oh,
this young lady, she's 50 years old, Deanna
Champa. It's Champa.
Stinson, decides that she's going to go onto the dark web and she's going to hire a hitman to take out the spouse of her former lover. And
whoa. Slow
yes,
down. Person
Wait a
A
minute.
hires a hitman to take out the current spouse
yes,
of
of
a.
her former lover.
Okay, all right, I got it. Now go. Keep
Yes.
going.
Wait, what was the woman's name again? It sounded familiar.
Stinson, Deanna Marie Stinson. She's an accountant.
She is your age. I read
She
the
is?
story.
Yeah, she's anyway.
So you-
Okay,
you may
so
have
here
gone
we
to
go.
school there.
She goes on the dark web. By the way, I don't even know how to get on the dark web. I don't even if it's a thing.
You-
Is it a real thing?
You can barely get
Dark-
on the real web.
You got that right, man. Yeah.
So,
It's- Dude, the computer was updating, 5 minutes before this show. I was afraid I wasn't going to get on. Okay, so, she's not talking to a real hitman. She's talking to the FBI, and she sends him like $350 in Bitcoin so that they hey, listen to this though. Listen, are you hiring a hitman? Because she sent him $350. Why? So the hitman could go buy our gun. Okay, if you're hiring a hitman that doesn't own a gun, you're not hiring a hitman. That's just that's your first red flag right there. But she was going to spend, I think she had agreed to $12,000 to send this person $350 in Bitcoin, which is not even just a fraction of a Bitcoin. Anyway, FBI, she hired the FBI, didn't work out for her. I'm staring at her mugshot. She looks really, really unhappy about this.
So, all right, $350 to buy a pew-pew.
Yeah.
I own several pew-pews. All of them cost way more than $350.
Well, maybe she's buying them on the dark web. I don't know, man. Are they cheaper on the dark web?
No, they get more expensive because you had to come by them illegally. So I'm with you. A hitman that doesn't have a weapon
doesn't have his own gun. I mean, that's your first red flag right there. You're like, you're not a good hitman. So
wow. Yep, that is definitely stupid.
Yeah.
And
why do all these things happen here, though?
There's something because people come from other places here. It's never a native like myself. It's always someone that moved here from somewhere else.
Thing is, she's an accountant. She's a real professional. She, probably made pretty good money. I would guess she had, probably a pretty good life.
Well, I mean, yeah, think about it. If she had Bitcoin, that means you've got to have had some sort of knowledge of purchasing.
Well, she was an accountant. It's funny because, like I just told you, the name sounds familiar. I just started going through a stack of business cards.
It's your accountant?
That was from a networking group I was in a number of years ago, and the name is very similar. So
interesting.
Hey, did someone just take out TSG?
No,
TSG.
He's out
to the dark web.
He's probably coming over to your office. He's in the back room.
He's in the dark web.
He's in the back room. All right. So moving on to a little Major League Baseball. So licking our wounds from taking our first loss of the football season, the Tampa Bay Rays have clinched back-to-back American League East titles. Congratulations to the Champa Bay Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Another banner, which, we have to start thinking about the World Series now. Us going to the World Series. Yeah. Now it's a tradition.
1 year makes it. I like it. I'm down.
So, hey, Chief, you asked before we got into the show, does winning 100 games matter? They're at 97 games right now.
Yeah.
With 6 games left. What do you guys think?
So my thought on that was this. Okay, I mean, 100 games, it sounds good. It's impressive, blah, blah, blah. But I'm wondering, what are they willing to give for that? And what I mean is, if you've got a starter that's having a bad day, are you willing to work your bullpen, this close to the offseason just to get that 99th win? Or are you willing to not give more guys? Is it more important for you to give more at-bats to guys? Or do you just want to keep, the starters in that you want those guys to stay fluid and in motion,
get their work in.
Yeah.
Well, Pooh Bear, if I'm wrong, when were September call-ups, or when are September call-ups?
They already happened. That's the rosters have been expanded.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now you've probably got a bunch of guys in that bullpen. We have no idea who they are, and they're not going to be on the playoff roster. Those are the arms you're going to run out there.
Unfortunately, one of the names that we do know, Nick Anderson, just got sent down to the IL, the 10-day IL, and they recalled a couple of guys from Durham. So, but to Chief's question, I think it's more important at this point right now. You've got 2 things that are critical. One is home field advantage. You definitely want that, and you need to make sure you have that by beating the Astros. I don't think the White Sox can catch them. I need to look at that and see. So that is the number one critical, most important thing. Second is exactly what you said, making sure your rotation and your bullpen is getting the work they need. And that's going to come from a combination of talking to the pitchers and talking to the coaching staff to know where does number 47 stand? Where does this guy stand? What does he need in order to get ready? And setting up your rotation. Now that's going to happen probably Friday or Saturday once they figure out who they're going to play, where they're going to play, and all that. They need to set that rotation up to get what they want. McClanahan, Patino, hopefully Baz, who has been just pitching amazing.
Dude, that guy was he was lights out yesterday. I think he went what did he strike out, like 9 guys in 5 innings or something?
Yeah, five in the third, or 5 2/3. So to me, that's the 3 most critical things: secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs, get your bullpen right as far as they're getting their work in and getting prepared, and then getting your rotation lined up for the first series.
So to answer your question about home field advantage, the Rays have a 6-game lead on the Astros right now.
Yeah.
So they would have to lose every game, and the Astros
just need to win one.
There you
go.
Yeah, we just need to win one then to get home field advantage.
And where are the
Sox?
The
American League.
Where are the
Sox have they're 8 games behind.
We have 3 games against the Astros.
Yes,
coming up.
Yeah.
So we basically only need to win one of those.
There you go. So that answers the question. So that, to me, that's number one important thing. So it sounds like one win's going to secure that, and then setting up the rotation and getting the bullpen right.
Yeah. So here's the other thing.
We have a question from a viewer. Sorry.
Okay.
If you're the Rays, who do you want to play in a short series? I'm assuming he means who would want to pitch. For me, right now, it's either gonna be a McClanahan or Baz. I mean, I know Baz is only 2 games into his professional season,
that's a big move, right?
Well, it plays into your favor because of his. He's not familiar with the lineups. Those batters aren't familiar with his pitching style, or at least his release point. I think that plays in their favor. Other than that, I think McClanahan has got the mental fortitude to get in there and get it done. So that would be my 2 picks. I'd go McClanahan first and then Baz second if I didn't have McClanahan for some reason.
I kind of thought I took the question as who do you want to play, as in what team do you want to play in the short series?
Okay,
I don't know I don't know what he's asking. It could be either way.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I feel like I want to play the Yankees. I would. If I had to play a team in a short series, I want to play the Yankees. I'm very familiar with them. We've had a lot of success against them, this year. So that's how I would see it.
Yeah, So he clarified.
Who else? Who's going to be the wild card winners of the American League?
It looks like Boston and New York.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, is that
those
New York
2 will play in a 1-game series. Is that the way it works?
Correct.
They play in a 1-game series for who's going to play. Yeah.
Us, but the Yankees are hot. They've won 6 in a row.
Yep.
You don't want to play the hot team. I'd say the answer would be Boston.
Here's what I think about that is the Yankees they've got all their chips in. They're trying to still make the playoffs.
Correct.
That run could really deplete them because they're going to throw every pitcher they have just to get an opportunity for a 1-game
So is Boston,
playoff, right? So you could go into that 1-game playoff and have no arms left.
Correct.
Or even if they get to the 1-game playoff, you can't go on unless you win. So they're gonna throw their best pitcher out there, which means we're gonna get number 2.
Right. Well, exactly. So everyone's gonna be stepping on the gas to get into the playoffs. Then they have that 1-game series where they're gonna have to throw whatever's left. Hopefully, it's their ace, for their sakes, each team. And then they get to go to the next series.
We do not want to play Chris Sale. I can tell you that, man. That guy, he has had our number all season.
They handled him last starting, but you're right. Right now, as a fan, I don't want anything to do with the Blue Jays. They are too dangerous of a lineup.
No.
And the Rays have not played them well all season. The Yankees,
that's the thing right there, Pooh Bear. The Blue Jays on paper are not as good as a team as New York or Boston, but they play us better than anybody else. I mean, we struggle against Toronto. So
So here's the other thing. I'm just
Cole is out with injury right now.
I'm looking at the standings here real quick, like the next couple of games. So 1 game separates the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Toronto. For all intents and purposes, I say Seattle is out of this because Seattle and Oakland are about to play a 3-game series. They're just going to blow each other up. but Boston plays Baltimore for 3 games starting tomorrow.
Yep.
So, they're going to get 2 out of 3, maybe 3 out of 3. And Toronto and the Yankees are going head to head in a 3-game series. I think there's a possibility you see Boston in a pretty good place here at the end of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting no matter what. I mean, this is why so many people really enjoy baseball, especially this final week, because this is what every team's doing. You've got the teams that are in that are kind of coasting. They're doing all the little things, and the teams that are fighting for their playoff lives are pedal to the metal. Let's go. Throw everything's throwing up against the wall. See what sticks. Kind of mentality.
You throw in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
So Pooh Bear, we were having a conversation about arms in the next 6 games. How do you feel about hitters? Do you rest any of these guys? Do you let them keep swinging the bat?
I think hitters are different because they need to get into a groove. They need to be in a rhythm, and I think they like that. Brandon Lau likes to be able to have that, some looks at some different pitchers so he can get into a rhythm. All of them do. They want to see. I'd like to see Meadows get hot. I want to see them all get hot. Rosarina got hot last year in the playoffs. Let's see him get hot again this year. Nelson Cruz is just a professional hitter. Let's see him get hot again.
Love to see Lowe get hot.
Or Lau, one of the two.
Lowe, whatever the heck. Lowe. All right.
These teams don't have a lot of study on Juan DeFranco, so this could be a really good playoffs for him. They didn't have that on a Rosarina last year, and you seen what he did. I love it. That's one thing I love about Tampa Bay is that we always have an infusion of new players that a lot of teams don't have game tape on, and they haven't figured out yet. So they have every year we have opportunities for these guys to really show out.
Yeah. Hey, here's a bold prediction here. It's not that bold, actually. It's probably a good case. Game 163. Though, I mean, there's very little more exciting than that.
That would be cool.
It would be cool.
That would be cool. So,
yep. Yeah, you don't want cold bats.
You rest them, you risk the cold bats.
100%.
Yeah, I think Dan's right.
Unless they're working on nagging injury. Like Franco's got the hamstring thing. If a couple days off helps him with that, I'm all for it. But otherwise, keep the bat swinging, man. You need to work.
Yeah. So, Pooh Bear, we saw something interesting this week. The Toronto played a little beanball with our guy Kevin Kiermaier. What are your thoughts on this situation? So to set the story up,
if you're unfamiliar,
Kiermaier gets thrown out at home in that series, and the catcher's little armband with how they're going to pitch to hit batters comes off. Kiermaier picks it up off the ground and just takes it into the dugout. Yep. Nobody really suspects anything at this point.
Well, nobody really saw it until it was
noticed it. Yeah.
Until it's brought to light. You see him pick something up, but every player has one of those in their back pocket, right? So pitchers have it under their cap inside behind the logo where the fish would be. And it's basically just kind of a cheat sheet of positioning, and it may even be just numbers or symbols to let you know, hey, number 8 batter, we need to shift to the right. Number 2 batter, we're shifting to the shortstop side, whatever it may be. So when Kiermaier slid it home, he found Alejandro Kirk's play note card, picks it up, goes to the dugout, hands it to a bench coach. I'm not even sure which coach it was, but it wasn't, one that we really know. And just kind of, there's footage of it. He just kind of slips it to him and hands it to him and tells him, put this away somewhere. Kevin Cash doesn't find out about it till the next day. Charlie Montoya finds out about it, the coach of the Blue Jays. He sends someone over to retrieve this and was told no. And that's when a bunch of things back and forth happened, some Twitter posts and some press conference things. And it just kind of got escalated. A lot of people are upset that he kept it. And, it's kind of like, cheating of sorts. Some people are like, hey, you lost it. If you want to keep your secret, you might want to take better care of them. That's kind of the side I'm on.
I don't know what's any different between that and stealing signs. Listen, name the professional sport, and I'm not calling it cheating, but somebody's always trying to get the upper hand.
Yeah,
right. If you came across another team's playbook, would you not read it?
The bottom line is effort and intent. How much effort did you put into quote unquote cheating? And
Nearly
what is your
none
intent?
in Kiermaier's case.
Exactly. And your intent was not necessarily to cheat because, listen, here's the reality. Whatever's on that list, you already know, right? You're not telling anybody anything that Nelson Cruz likes him low and inside, right? He's been around forever. Everybody knows this. So it's logical that they're going to pitch him high and outside. Okay. So you don't learn anything from that. Now, what you might do is to help Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, may not be able to make effective calls based on that information. He may need to kind of relearn that. But again, I mean, he is a rookie, so who knows? But I think that's more of a advantage than learning something from it. You're preventing the other team from knowing what they're supposed to know, as opposed to learning something from what the team knows already about you.
So all of that, my question to you, any of you guys, is, was the beaning
the following day he got beaned?
What was it? Was that an okay retaliation? Was that justified? Thank you, TSG.
So it's just great. Okay, so there's kind of a couple parts to that answer. Is it tradition in baseball to bean the guy? The answer is yes, it is. Is it justified? The answer is no. And the pitcher was thrown out of the game for that,
and suspended.
So I mean, the thing is, was it intentional? Absolutely, it was intentional. It was intentional just by the fact of who it was that was doing it. My question is, and when it was done, absolutely. So my question is, okay, Charlie Montoya has a significant history with the Rays. I mean, he was our minor league coach, came up, coached third base for us. This guy he's been in the Rays system for a very long time. So does he, if this happens in LA, does he send someone over to the Dodgers and say, hey man, can we have our cheat sheet back? I don't know. I mean, is he expecting, some professional courtesy because he has a history here with us? Because we didn't fire him. He left. He left on his own accord. Once once that door closes behind you and you're the guy that left to go beat us, he didn't go to a team in the in another league. He's playing, the guys that we play all the time. He's coaching the team that we play all the time. He's taken that knowledge that he has with him about this team and he's using it against us as best as he can. Things about the stadium, the trop, the way the ball rolls, the way that our coach, calls a game. So he's taken all that knowledge with him. So when this falls in our lap, guess what? We didn't go and take it. It's just, there it is.
Right.
It's free game on the road.
Right. So the Magneto group is asking, how different is it than what the Astros did? And I'll like to answer that one. So the Astros intentionally went to steal signs with a camera and a buzzer system. The camera was placed to center field to alert the hitters of what sign or what pitch was coming, either through a trash can lid banging or through buzzers taped to their chest. That is full-on intentional intent to cheat, intent to gain the system. What Kiermaier did was he found it. He found $20 laying on the wall in the sidewalk,
and he picked it up.
Gave it a cursory glance to see if anybody he knows dropped it, and well, sorry.
He knows who dropped it. That's a little.
I know that.
He knows who dropped it.
No, I mean, Pooh Bear, we did have a conversation some months ago about a bag of money being dropped on the side of the road, and you were like,
"Yeah,
absolutely not. You give it back."
Correct. Like I said, you give a cursory look to see if you see who it was. You didn't see it. Now that's money. That's possession. This is knowledge that and it's a game. It's a sport.
Well, it's for a lot of money. A lot of careers.
Not really. It didn't do anything. It didn't prove it. Like I said, this is not secret. It's not a secret.
He intentionally took it, though. He's intentionally, you know what I mean?
How about that same week? Do you guys remember the walk-off homer that Brett Phillips hit?
Yes.
That was
10th inning.
So
that was prior. That was the Friday before.
So he drives one to right field, stands there and watches it with like the bat over his head.
Oh yeah.
Right? Waits for it to get out, taunts over to the dugout, the Rays dugout, and then circles. Is that worth a beaning?
I thought about that, B-Love, when you it's funny you say that because I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit, usually you get beamed for that. But by the way, I am on the Rays side and Kiermaier side on that whole deal. I was being devil's advocate. It was fun for a minute.
we're seeing more and more of the hitter, quote unquote, showing up the pitcher with a celebration.
Right.
But we're also seeing more pitchers celebrate with their, swagger walks. And,
Absolutely. Every one of them.
So I was on the side of, I don't like it. I don't feel, me personally, that I would be the showboater when it comes to the bat flips and stuff. I think I'm head down, run to first base, whatever. But then you think about it, you're like, man, it's an exciting moment. You hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth to win a game. I mean, yeah, you're going to show some emotion.
Shouldn't you be able to celebrate that?
I have.
You score a touchdown, you spike it. Like
I don't have any problems with the celebration. I guess that to me came across a little bit as taunting.
Oh man, you're talking about a guy who bats 210, and seriously, that's it, man.
That's my guy.
He's not an everyday starter. He's come through in a couple clutch positions in a clutch time. By the way, he wears a double-sided batting helmet, man. I mean, this poor guy. He gets up there. He's
you know why he does that?
Yes, I do know why, because it fits. It fits him.
No, it's an anti-concussion helmet. That's why it has the two flaps. It's an
anti-concussion helmet.
No, if you look at it, it's bigger. It's like a Don BB. I promise you.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's still wearing the ridiculous looking hat out there. So, but the thing is, I mean, this guy, he's not the guy that you expect to take you deep.
She's like, because he's Rudy.
Right.
It's Rudy.
He's Rudy.
He's not Rudy. Rudy, yeah.
Well, when this guy, when he nails it, he gets a chance to celebrate. Absolutely. Yeah, he's Rudy. He is Rudy. That's Rudy. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
Gents, you guys got anything else to add on this Monday evening?
Oh, man, we got Monday Night Football coming on here in a few minutes.
Oh, dessert. Yeah. You got dessert, Chief?
Counting calories, my man.
There's no dessert until time on Sunday night.
I'm out of calories for the day.
He gave me 2 little penny-sized chocolates and said, "Here you go, buddy."
That was your dessert.
All right, Pooh Bear.
Oh man, that's gonna do it for us. Special programming note. Well, first of all, Magnano Group wants to know what you're drinking tonight.
It's Diet Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Special programming note: the Buccaneers are playing a night game next Sunday, right? So at 8:00. So we're going to pre-record our show. We are going to break down the Rays playoff series because by then time we'll know, and we're also going to preview the Buccaneers at the Patriots and all of the drama that's going to happen this week between the Patriots and the Buccaneers, because when the GOAT returns to the pen, there's going to be some drama.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for interacting tonight, Magnano Group, and those the rest of you that watched. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching this point in the show, you are a real one, and we love you for it. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you know when we drop our next huge video, which we are in the works of recording today. That's why we're all wearing the same shirts, folks. We did something tonight before the show. Little hint, it's coming. It's going to be fantastic. And we will see you again next week, 7:00. Say goodnight, Chief.
Good night.